Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikhan here, coming at you with another video, and today I would like to tell you about Until Dawn. So as you guys are probably aware, yesterday I did 2 live streams of Until Dawn. These were some pretty long live streams over at TGN. I'm going to have links in the description if you guys want to watch those. But in those 2 live streams, I finished the game. Like I said, they were pretty long. I think I clocked in just about a little less than 8 hours or something along those lines as I played through the game. Now, bear in mind, the game does have more things to do. What happened was, you know, when you're live streaming and whatnot, sometimes you do tend to get a little bit rushed. So I rushed a little bit towards the end parts, and I wasn't as thorough as I could have been because I do believe that there is a lot more stuff to do. So today I wanted to tell you guys how I feel about that game because I had already played it. I played like 2 hours or something of it a couple of months, not a couple of months, it was like a month back or something like that. Because PlayStation invited me to go over and play a little bit of Until Dawn so that I could get an idea of what the game is about. Now, at first, when I first had heard about Until Dawn and I saw the game announcement in Gamescom 2014, and I interviewed one of the guys over at Supermassive Games and whatnot during Gamescom 2014. That interview is still on the channel, by the way, if you guys are curious about that. So when I saw it there for the first time, I was like, you know, it's kind of like one of those horror games. I'm usually not into those all that much, so I don't know. It's one of those games, I'll take a look at it, see what I think about it. But, you know, I was just thinking it's one of those games that I'm not really going to care all that much about. Well, yesterday proved me very wrong. I mean, I kind of felt like I was proven a little bit wrong when I saw it for the very first time, you know, a couple of months back, a month back even. Damn, I need to say a couple of months. Need to stop saying that. But, you know, a month back or whatever, when I played it for the first time, I kind of felt like, whoa, wait a minute. There's a lot more here than what I first anticipated, right? So what happens in Until Dawn is that the story changes, and it changes quite a bit. I mean, the main plot points are still there, but what happens to the characters can be completely different. They can die in several points throughout the game. In an interview that I did recently with Will Biles, who is the executive creative director, he says that there's over 70 characters, so over 70 deaths in the game. And so it's like 70 deaths for these 8 characters. Like, what? It's insane. There's just way too many ways in which these characters can die, right? But more importantly, I feel what I really liked about Until Dawn was the way the story shifts. Like, you have no idea. It gets to a point where I'm trying to get this video without any spoilers in it, as you guys can probably tell, because anything that I say about the story itself can be considered a spoiler. Obviously, if you watched the live streams, you've already been spoiled, but I wanted to keep this video spoiler-free as much as possible and just give you my opinions on the overall product, right? And basically, the way that the story shifts is going to have you confused throughout most of the game, because the game starts out very much like typical slasher horror, super cliche. You immediately assign stereotypes to the characters as soon as they're introduced, all of that stuff, and you're like, okay, this is the jock guy that I don't care about, this is the bitch chick that I'm not going to care about, and it's just, you assign all these stereotypes, like even unconsciously, you just automatically assign those to people and be like, I'm gonna let this guy die, I'm gonna let this guy die, and it's just like, throughout the game, your opinion of most of these characters is going to change. And I feel that was it was really amazing just the way that they did it. It's just hard for me to, you know, keep talking about it without revealing plots of the story and the stuff that happens in the game. And I know that for some people are going to be like, man, whatever, I saw that plot coming a mile away and whatever. And I'm like, really? That's basically going to be my reply to that. I'm like, really? You saw that plot coming from out? Because I can tell you, I did not see that coming, not by a long shot. So yeah, the story definitely blew me away. I can't say that I cared all that much about the totem mechanics, because there are these totems. I mean, I guess there was this one point where one of the totems did kind of like guided me into doing something. But there are these totems that you pick up, right, as you are advancing through the game. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of collectibles. There's a lot of clues that kind of help you, you know, figure out the story of what happened in that mountain. And people might almost think that, wow, with all those collectibles, am I ever really going to fully understand the whole story? I mean, you can understand the story of the game by the time you reach the end of it, regardless of which end you get, I want to say. I'm pretty sure, because I mean, my personal ending, 4 characters died and 4 characters survived, but it can be either way. You can have any combination of like 1 character surviving, 2 characters surviving, all the way up to 8 characters surviving, or even no characters surviving. Any of those is a valid ending. So that's a lot of variations that you have throughout the game. And again, something that really surprised me when I interviewed Will Biles is that he just flat out said, you know, that your average player, when he's playing through the game the very first time, he will actually see less than 50% of what the game has to offer. And I was like, what? Less than 50% on an extremely narrative-driven game? Because, I mean, let's face it, the gameplay of this game, the developers themselves, they've said this is an interactive movie. I've heard them say it. This is more like an interactive movie. So if you're the kind of player that doesn't like interactive movies, then this might just not be for you. The gameplay reminds me a lot of Beyond Two Souls and possibly Heavy Rain, although I never really played Heavy Rain, but I played played Beyond Two Souls all the way. But that's the kind of gameplay that you can expect. So in certain scenarios, you'll be able to move characters around. You'll be able to locate items and whatnot. There will be plenty of QuickTime events during running sequences and all that stuff. And there is also even sequences where you will have shooting elements, where you will have to aim weapons and shoot and whatnot. So there's a little bit of variety in the gameplay there, but the main thing is going to be the decisions. There's going to be plenty of choices for you to make. And those choices can either be the right choices, they can be the wrong choices. Each of the characters also has like this relationship bar thing that it basically influences their relationship status and how they interact with each other and how likely they are to help each other out on a tough spot. And there's just all these little elements that kind of like come together to form this story that changes and adapts. And on top of it is one of those stories that completely mind fucks you. Like, I would say halfway through, but it's like more than halfway through, because you get one mind fuck halfway through, then you get another mind fuck a little bit further after that. And then you even get another mind fuck close to the end. It's completely insane. And, I just really enjoyed it, basically, is what I'm saying. Personally, I enjoyed it, and I'm usually not the kind of guy that goes for horror games. They are usually not my thing. But I would have to say, if, you know, the gameplay that I've been showing or the trailers or whatever, if any of that stuff seems remotely interesting for you, you might want to check out Until Dawn, because it is, in fact, in my personal opinion, a good game. You know, sometimes you have those games that, you know, they're not... how should I put it? Like, for instance, let's take a look at Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. You know, I didn't enjoy that quite as much. I mean, obviously, these are two very different genres, but at the end of the day, they're still kind of like, you know, that interactive experience, not really super in-depth gameplay mechanics and whatnot. But, you know, once you get right down to it, Until Dawn has a lot to offer. And I know that maybe I'm not expressing myself as well as I want to, because again, it's just anything that I reveal about the story is spoilers, and I want to avoid that as much as possible. But if you do want to get the spoilerific experience, like I said, full playthrough, there's going to be links in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed it. But me personally, if the gameplay that you guys have watched of Until Dawn up until this point, if it seems like it'd be something you'd be interested in, you should go for it, because the game's a lot of fun and it's got a lot of replay value. Assuming you don't look up walkthroughs online and whatnot. But even then, like, if you look up a walkthrough, that's only going to lead you to one of God knows how many outcomes. Probably the best outcome where all the 8 characters survive or whatever. But you still miss out on a whole bunch of content of how these characters can die and whatnot. So, yeah, it's really cool. I just had a blast with it. And anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave me all your comments, feedback, all that kinds of good stuff in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.